Welcome to EE Weekend Stakes Preview Show. This week, we're breaking down the top stakes races to uncover the best betting opportunities. We're going to highlight vulnerable favorites, key horses, potential value. We're going to give you plays and give you an edge this weekend. Justin, my regular partner, it's always good to be with you, my man. How are you?
I love being with you too. I just love handicapping with you, and you've taught me a lot over the years. But I would tell you, I am just eating up covering one track, man. Like I literally feel like I can see that thing front, back, forward. But the funny thing is, I looked back at the last like 7 days, and I crushed the beginning and the middle of the card. I've had 3 or 4 days where I almost went 4 of 4. I saw, but the back half of the card has been difficult. But that's what I love about it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to change it up here and see what's going on. So, but I'm doing really good. It's been a good week. It's been a long week, and I'm glad to be here with you. Horses and wine. It's perfect spot.
I know. Actually, I'm about to get a bourbon. Actually, I didn't even think about it, but I'm going to do that. Your notes are crushing, and
Thank you.
You got it. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, everyone's talking about it. Last couple of weeks, like I look forward to opening up the computer and going, okay, I got to see Justin's notes. How have you figured out fairgrounds? I mean, what have you done? Because it's the second largest, longest stretch in North America, next to Los Alamitos, and that's within probably 20 feet.
Yeah.
How have you figured this out? Like, you're seeing it so well.
Well, I think it really, I was actually talking to Oli, who's in the chat. So bless you, Oli, for being here. I love it. I think, Sky, it really comes down to less number of races, not as much action, and focus on very specifically. So when I look at fairgrounds, I want to know everything about post position from is inside, what happens on the turf, the dirt, sprinting. So with fairgrounds, speed holds big time. Inside posts are so dangerous, and that's common on the dirt across the country, right? So but it is very tough to win from outside posts. And then, you look at, Jareth Ludbury won the last race. He was 8 or 10 to 1, and that was a really tough race today, but he's the second leading jock. Jose Ortiz is dominating. There's trainer angles you can see on EquinEdge, but it really, for me, has been focus, and just spend the time. If I'm going to bet my money, I'm going to bet it at fairgrounds, and I'm going to give people what my thoughts are, right? So it I think comes down, though, Scotty, to just knowing the track. I mean, it really does. And I haven't played a ton of fairgrounds prior to this year, but it's been fun.
I just don't think that people understand outside posts, unless you are like lone speed or very tactical speed, Justin. Like those are the ones to beat. Like if you're going 2 turns and depending where why do you think that they show track diagrams? They're so important to look at. Then you look at the horse's style along with the rest of the field. And horses sometimes with wide posts, even in sprint races, like I think at Gulfstream Park, even in 1-turn dirt races at Gulfstream Park, I think post 7 position and out only win, like I want to say 6% of the time. It's so low.
Yeah, it's like that at a lot of tracks. It really is.
It is.
You know what I do, Scotty? I think just to get back to your question, I didn't mean to stop you because we've been talking about this in the coaching class with Jim and Ira and some of our regular people. I look at the race sim. People say, what do you do first? I look at the race sim. I understand the distance, the surface, and can I immediately start cutting horses either on the inside or the outside? Do you need the lead and you're not going to get it? Bye. You're too far outside. You have no speed. Bye. And then it allows you, I feel like, Scotty, to handicap, in a more clear fashion because you're not having to handicap, 10 horses or 8 horses, and you can really focus on, 4 to 5 horses. So post position is so important.
I'm trying to find it here, but so as you know, the race simulator is deadly accurate at the first call. Including first-time starters, it predicts who's going to be on the lead or second 77% of the time. It's pretty freaking crazy. So, but I looked up on ChatGPT, give me 5 furlongs, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and 7 furlongs. So I took the sprint races and said, okay, at the second call, the horse that has the lead, tell me the percentage chance that it has of winning. It's 55 to 60% on the synthetic going 5 furlongs. Like, wow. And so all you have to do is click to the second call on the race simulator, which is so deadly accurate. Like, I agree with you. The first place I start is the race simulator. I just do. Some people don't. Last week I had Matt Miller on, and he says that he doesn't even look at the race simulator. But
I saw that. But I think that's because I learned this from you, and we actually talked about this in the stretch run chat. So for anybody listening, I know many of you are in there, but pace makes the race, Scotty. Like, I mean, I truly in the tool allows you to visualize the race. Mike Soletta in the chat today, I saw hit a nice trifecta, and he literally, I know, visualized that race, and it's where he had just such confidence at fairgrounds, and that's what's the beauty, I feel like, of the race simulator is you handicap, so.
And we're getting a lot of positive feedback from people on the notes. You're doing notes at fairgrounds. I'm doing notes at Gulfstream Park and some at Santa Anita. You're doing notes at fairgrounds, Oldie at Oakland again. And then we got Jake over. He's crushing Turfway Park. And where am I missing? Oh, David Harrison, of course.
Yeah,
can't miss
doing
David.
New York.
Yeah, David's handling all the NYRA stuff, and he's killing it. And so I feel like the notes have really made a big difference.
Yeah. Oldie's on Oldie in the chat, but he on vacation because Oakland not racing.
I know. Yeah.
That is a bummer. I mean, and getting prayers to California, right, Scotty? I mean, it's, and whether it's Santa Anita or, I have a friend who's texting me right now who works for the gas company down there, and he's been working nonstop, right? Because he has to go in after all these houses, and they have to dig it up and then shut off the gas, and it's very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, and we're going to have race replays on our site in about 2 months, but race replays is an important thing to watch as well. Like, I know it's not feasible to on every one of them, but let's just say you see a horse has got an outside post as an example, or maybe a rail, and you just look at it for a second. Excuse me. And if you do that, you might all of a sudden just have a completely different opinion. I just feel like, I don't think with everything that all the tools that are available, I would honestly say I think race replays, but that takes the most amount of time, is probably one of the, you need the metrics. So, but it ranks way up there for sure in watching the race replays. What's up, Anthony? But Tampa.
Oldie said he might be throwing some Tampa in notes. Scotty.
Oh, good. Do it, Oldie. Do some Tampa for us. Yeah. But Anthony, what did Anthony do?
Oh, Anthony had it was the last race at Fairgrounds, Scotty. It was Jareth Loveberry rode the 3-horse and won it, 8-1, and the 4-horse ended up finishing second. It was a 71 to 1 exacta and like a 500 to 1 try, and he had them both. He had the exacta, I think, 5 times. Yeah.
Hell of a job. Nice going, Anthony. Mike Soletta killed it too. Like, right? Did really good today in the Twin Spires tournament, right?
He did. Yeah. Brad Anderson, Mike. Yes. Everybody's doing. And again, it's I love that Anthony played that last Fairgrounds race, Scotty, because that thing was wide open. The 9 was such a vulnerable favorite, and it was like, where are you going to go? So
I had dinner last night with David Harrison and his wife Mary Ellen, and it was nice. And David and I talked about, we're gonna sit at the table together for the NHC and pick each other's brains now that he's using EquinEdge a lot more. And so what we want to do is get some EquinEdge players and community to sit at the table with us, actually. So if you're interested, let me know, and maybe reach out to me on Twitter, private message, or my email, scottypick6@gmail. So anyways, that's where we'll be. So hopefully we can.
That'll be quite the table. I told you,
Yeah.
I think if we were able to bet on this somehow, I would. I think somebody that is an EE user wins NHC this year. I would, I
wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's almost a lock.
David is a super focused guy. Like, I mean, last night when we were talking, like, he was kind of telling me his like pre-Vegas routine. Once he gets there, what he does, like he does not mess around. Like he's not interested in going out and playing blackjack over at the Cosmo. He's not interested in doing any of that stuff. I'm like, David, I don't know if I can hang with you. I mean, I got to throw some craps. I've got to play some roulette. I've got to play some blackjack.
I mean, he's won that darn tournament twice, man. You cannot discount David's Sunday Silver win last year. That's versus the whole tournament. Everybody's still there playing. So
no, come on. You can't win the NHC and then the Silver Sunday and call it anything a fluke. Like, no, David's no joke. Do you know when he won the NHC and the National Horse Players Championship in Vegas in 2022? Do you know that he lost his first 8 plays? His first 8. And then he changed tables. He goes, this table is bad luck. Yeah. And then he gets, I think, a 14-1 shot to come in. So he got a $30 horse, I think. And I don't know. It was more, actually, right? So with the place as well. But, yeah, crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to come on, Mike. You got to make this. And even if you don't make it, you got to come out and support, brother. So,
Mike, come play the Last Chance. That's what I'll be doing, and we can qualify.
Justin did last
year. David, I think, is playing Last Chance too. Scotty, I talked to him like a month ago. I don't know if you mentioned that when you went to dinner.
We're all going to get there early, right? We talked about that. We're going to get there, I think, on Wednesday. So, I mean, we're all like, this is going to be here sooner than we even think, right? So
it's like 2 months away. I mean, it is a little more than 2, but yes.
All right, you ready to get going?
Yep.
All right. So for those people that are new, what we're doing is we're covering all the biggest stakes races, weekend stakes races for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So far, we have none for Friday, so they're kind of limited this week. We were going to cover Santa Anita, you guys, but we decided not to because we're 90% sure they're gonna cancel all the races at Santa Anita because of what's going on with all the fires. The right there, you know, the track wasn't in danger, but up in Pasadena, Altadena, all that area up there is pretty bad. They're not letting horses work out per Chris because of the weather and the smoke and the fire and stuff like that. So the air quality is not good. So we're going to pass on that. So what we're going to do is we've improvised and we made an executive decision and we're going to wing Tampa. They've got a bunch of stakes races, I think 3 or 4 of them on Saturday. So we're going to add that to the list of tracks we're going to cover. So we're going to start here at Aqueduct race number 2, Justin, and you're going to have to catch Tizzy in the Sky. But the one thing I do like about Tizzy in the Sky is that she can rate, but she actually went up against Comparative last time out, and Comparative didn't run good, but Comparative was on a big layoff for Brad Cox, and the GSR goes up 11 points. I'm not saying I think Comparative can beat Tizzy in the Sky, but second time off the layoff. And then also the increase in GSR, she's 3-1 on the EE morning line. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, you view this the same way, and I noticed that Oldie view it the same way as I do. We all three view it the same way. Tizzy in the Sky, I mean, looks to be the best, but yeah, Comparative the second best in my opinion. But Tizzy in the Sky, I mean, yes, maybe can rate, get the lead. I mean, you look 3 back in that going 9 furlongs, Scotty, because I like to see that these horses have gone this distance and won by 9 lengths in a 70 stakes race, right? So, you know, and then in the Gopher one, you know, won and kind of sat off, which it was fairly impressive off the layoff to then go in a 74, and she ran in the Phipps, right? Yeah. So she's no joke, you know. That's where.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you. Here's my guess. I'm going to tell you that I really do think that Comparative will be pressing or actually on the lead. I watched the race replay of this, and Comparative is just as fast as Tizzy in the Sky, and Tizzy in the Sky draws the rail. And here's what I also think about Tizzy in the Sky. Obviously, class-wise, this is the class of the field, no doubt about it. But you can kind of see she can rate a little bit. And you saw that last time out, and she had to hang on. When she gets a clear lead, she wins for fun. We can clearly see that as well. Both of those races at 9 furlongs. Look, it's no fluke that the 3 times she went 9 furlongs, 4 times, she's got 2 wins going away. One time where she dueled and had to settle for second on November 3rd last year, or in 2023. But and then the time before that, she couldn't even get the lead. But that was a grade one field. That was a grade one field, to be fair. But anyways, she can rate some. She's going to be right there. I'm not ready to say that she is a given in this race. I just comparative is very fast and moving up, second off the layoff, and a improved GSR. You know who I think, and I think I'm going to choose.
I do agree with you that I probably would not single her. I might be with you. I didn't look at the sequence, but keep going.
I was just going to say the other Pletcher horse is Julia Shining. Are you seeing how, like Dylan Davis? How I still don't get it. I always say this about Manny Franco. How is Dylan Davis an 11% jockey? He is so good. I think he won 2 or 3 races. He won 2 or 3 races over at Gulfstream Park today. Like, he is a freaking good jockey.
Well, he won. I'm pretty sure he won something in New York, right? From a jockey standpoint, he was the leading wins all year, like for a meet or something. But I agree with you. Maybe he started slow in 2024, but he finished as the top jockey in New York, basically. I mean, kudos to him. Yeah, big GSR for Julia Shining. And I've played her in the past, Scotty, and it's never worked out well. I just think, I mean, she does have 10 races, but she just beat Allowance. And I mean, she didn't win easily, right? I mean,
she did it easily. It was only 5 horses. It was off of a layoff. But here's the thing. Have we really ever seen her best? Because look at the layoff lines. I mean, she's only got 10 races. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 layoff lines and still earned $400,000. I'm just saying, like, and she's training tremendously in the mornings, from what I'm to understand. So
then she's the second pick, Scotty. So if the system, that's good to know. But I do agree with you. I'm not sure the one at Tizzy in the Sky is single, but that's where I would land. At least that's my top pick.
You know what I don't like? I don't like how Tizzy in the Sky had to hold on and barely won. That's what's throwing me off, to be honest with you. That's it. Like, I mean, look at her class. I mean, she's definitely got the class, but I want to show you some. But if we go deeper, if we really look in depth, I think a lot of this horse is going to go off at 3 to 5, and I think this horse could get overbet. Look at this horse right here. This horse was 3 to 1 here, 5 to 2, 5 to 2, 6 to 5, and lost. I mean, she's a decent horse, but she has burned some money too. So I'm not ready to say that she's a single at all. I think comparative could surprise. Look at 3 to 1 on the EE morning line. So for me, I'd probably spread using the 1, 4, 5. I think the 4 horse might go off at 4 or 5 to 1 and could even win this race. You know what? I'm not going to be surprised. I am not going to be surprised whatsoever if Manny Franco sends comparative to the lead. I will not be surprised. And she's going to be a lot fitter today or tomorrow or Saturday, excuse me. And she's going to be she will handle 9 furlongs, no problem. She could be very, very tough. She's got some class.
Really, I was talking back on Tizzy in the Sky, because I mean, when I do look back at her races, Scotty, and when she's lost, once she broke awful, Tizzy in the Sky. So that would be my only comment. When she lost those races as the favorite, Boat looked there in a 76, she broke 10th. Right, bumped at the start, and then she probably shuffled back. And then when you look back before on her maiden win, before she broke her maiden, she broke awful too. So, I could forgive.
But look here, she didn't break bad here in these 2 races. Now, this was a 78 group here, to be fair.
Yeah,
the 74 group. Look at she's been first or second in 9 of 13 races. I'm just saying she has burned some money. The 4 horse is going to give her fits up front for sure, and which could set it up for the 5, like the other Pletcher horse, by the way, and Julia Shining. I mean, it's crazy how loaded that barn is. Like all these like amazing horses. I recognize that was an optional claiming, but sometimes here's what I do like about it. You take a class horse like this, and how many times do we see? Look at they're not ready to win first time out. Even you got a claiming or not a claiming, but an optional claiming or an allowance race, and they come back and they shorten the distance and they get like second. They don't win. This horse came off of a layoff. against a decent 66 group and dominated. So to me, this horse is going to be a lot tighter and a lot better. I'm going to go with Julia Shining. I'm kind of talking myself into it. I'm going to go with the 5.
All right. I'm on the 1. Oldie in the chat, I know, is also on Tizzy in the Sky.
All right. Oldie and Justin. All right. Going to go with the 1. Okay. Where to now?
We're going Fairgrounds, race 5.
Fairgrounds, race number 5. We have 2 stakes races over there. Okay, these are Louisiana breds. Let's run the race.
So, Scotty.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about this race, the 5-horse Love. I don't know if you remember, but I picked this horse last week on our preview show. And she won over at Delta Downs because we covered Delta Downs. She was nearly 16-1, paid $33. Anthony, I know in the chat, had a really good day with that sequence. But she running back a week later. I was like, whoa, wait, what's happening here? I went elsewhere, but
that's
that was
really asking a lot. I mean, that's asking a ton, honestly.
And we got paid last week. It was 16-1 nearly.
It is the EquinEdge long shot, but let me tell you, I'm on Manana. Manama, is it Manama? Manama?
You're on the 1 with Jose and Cherie.
I am, because look, that wasn't a bad effort off the layoff, and it's a similar group, and I think this horse is going to be a lot tighter, and I think this horse is the class of the field.
So I'm going to disagree, and I'm on 6 string. And, 6 string won the Louisiana Ladies Sprint, you can see, for Mr. Landry and Alan Landry. He's a sneaky little trainer down here on the circuit, I've noticed. He has some nice horses in his barn, but he gets them prepped and ready. I mean, she won last out. She's been racing. She's got 7 wins and 11 tries. I think that she's going to sit a good trip. I didn't necessarily like the speed with Freeburn and 6 string. Scotty, when you look at those, has been facing some of these others, faced Love, 2 back for Love, and then also faced Freeburn last out. So I think there's some speed up front with the 3 and 4. I love Love, but not today. I have the 1 Monomo Gold second, but I put 6 string on top for Landry. I think can repeat. Ben Curtis rides. He's having a great meet. She's a nice horse. Is my thought process here. So.
7 wins in 11 lifetime races, so she's super nice. You know what? Here's what I like too, and if I can get my computer work, but if you look down, mine's not showing, but that's just because my computer's slow right now. But if you look down below in the workouts, she's like training absolutely huge right now. I'm talking about
Monomo Gold.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, she's got bullet work last time out, training just tremendously. Oldie's on the 2 horse as well. And I'm on the 1, the 1 in my mind is the horse to beat. But the two's nice as well. And then the 3 Freeburn. Did you consider the Freeburn at all? I mean, this is a very fast horse who.
I just thought the 3 and 4. I thought the 3 Freeburn going to get wrapped up in the speed with Classy Judy G, the 4. So I put them underneath. I was 2-1, like 3-4, I think is. But I thought in 6 string been beating Freeburn, and I just think there's a lot of speed up there with both Freeburn and Classy Judy G. So, and the inside post at Fairgrounds are so dominant, whether you're on the lead or you can sit right off like the 1 or 2. So I think the 3 and 4 go, visualize the race, and the 1 or 2 sit the trip. I'm going on the 2. I know you got the 1.
Yep. All right. Now we're going to get to the 8th race, which is what?
Another state bred over at Fairgrounds, the Gary Palamisano. Yeah, that's a tough one to pronounce.
Let's see. 11th, we got Fairgrounds, race number 8. Okay. Let's run this race.
Go Sugar has been a play all meet, but we'll talk about this race. But been a play, has the speed, Scotty, on the race. John Dooley does a great job as a race caller, Scotty. I've always been a fan of Matt Dinnerman too, just because I listened to him for a long time on the West Coast. But now following Fairgrounds, he's an amazing race caller. I mean, one of the best that I've listened to quite a bit. But yeah.
So, I mean, obviously this horse is going to be tough to beat, and it did really well last time out. You know, I always find it interesting. You got the same surface, same distance in these last two races, and this horse had to hang on here and then pulls away to win for fun. These things on paper will throw you off. That's why it's important to really look at the internal fractions, which we're going to have here in a couple of months. Will give you these internal fractions. That'll kind of help you make a decision too, to go, okay, well, he was going much faster here early, right? That's going to make all the difference in the world. And then you can kind of project what will happen today. So I'm looking forward to that new tool. But yeah, I obviously I didn't handicap this race. So why don't you start us off, and who are you thinking?
I landed on the second pick, Jackhammer. You can see there at the finish, Scotty, Jackhammer and El Dinero right there. And I've played Go Sugar both those last races. So I don't know, I'd be kind of curious on your perspective. I think, you're at a meet, and to win 3 stakes in a row for Go Sugar going to be tough. Did win nicely up, but Jackhammer was the favorite, Scotty, in that Louisiana Sprint last out. But we talked about this. Was the favorite in the 8 post. And, whether you watch the video or not, that tells me that's very difficult to win out there. And, looks to have an okay trip and ran a respectable second in a 74 SOR. And I think today, Go Sugar going to go. And I fully expect that. I'm not sure if there's going to be much pace pressure, but I think Jackhammer's, Jose Wright for Brett Calhoun. Jose is dominating the meet, right? And Jose rode last out too. So that, and had won 3 in a row prior to that. I just think gets back to a more appropriate post and can sit the trip and catch the speed.
All right. So who's Oldie on?
Oldie is on, Oldie is on the 3. He's on Go Sugar, which Go Sugar would be my second pick. But so I was 6'3". He was the only 2. I mean, you have the 5 too, but that's all I really looked at were those 3. Scotty, I thought it was between the 3 of them, but he liked the 3.
So did you look very close at the EquinEdge long shot? Like, if 7 wins and 17 tries, and ran against those horses
in the 5 post. Yep,
didn't run bad at all.
Correct.
I just find, and Loveberry re-rides, and you were talking about how hot Loveberry. He's the leading jockey at the meet, right?
Second. Jose first. Yeah.
Jose, and go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, these horses often do very well. This post position is very good. The horse has tactical speed. And a lot of times when horses are in between horses, you got the middle post and you've got a bunch of horses on the outside, bunch on the inside. You can kind of tell this horse was kind of in the middle. Where now there's less horses in the race. This horse draws a good post. It's the EquinEdge long shot. These horses, you could only win. They're not like, I don't like horses to go in 4, 5, 6 times in a row at this level. I just personally don't, right?
Well, but I'm the same. So, I mean, the 8 post is okay, but it's going to be tough because he's got that speed out there. The speed will go, but he also, J-Love 0 for 12 with this trainer, Scotty, would be my knock on, not on Herb. So it's going to be, I think, a little bit of a difficult post with the 5 and 6 being, I think players more. I'm on Jackhammer, obviously, but he's going to have to find the right spot. But Loveberry is great. I mean, Jose again dominating meet, but Loveberry comfortably in second. But I would have more underneath. I think the 8 could hit the try, 100%.
Yeah. I'm surprised to see. Are you surprised to see the 5 horses, the EquinEdge top pick?
I know, man. Hasn't been winning.
Why?
I mean,
that's weird to me. Like, why? Like, there has to be a reason.
I mean, it hasn't. I think it just comes from that stalking aspect in the being off the speed, but the horse is not. It doesn't. Step slow. broke slow last out. It did run well in a 72 back. So I don't think you can dismiss the 5. I mean, the 5 gonna 6-5 exacta. If Go Sugar stops, 6-5 exacta would be a great play, or even putting Go Sugar underneath for me. But the 5 is going to run a good race, guy. You might get 5, 6, 8 to 1.
It's so strange. It's so strange, this horse. But look at the race simulator. It's got the horse right next to the 6 horse. So, all right. Let's get out to the next stakes race, which is where I'm gonna take a chance.
Yeah, who are you going with?
I'm gonna take a chance with the 8 horse. I'm gonna hope that the 8. I'm a little worried about this horse getting wide a little bit, but the 4, 5, and 7 are not fast.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that the 8 horse might be able to still get position here with its tactical speed as I'm looking at the race simulator. And so we'll see. I think maybe it's more of an intuition. I really like the post change for this horse. And I think the horse has enough tactical speed to maybe not get carried out wide.
Good jockey. Yeah. All right. You're on 8. I'm on the 6, Oldie on the 3.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to beat the 3 horse. There's no question. The 3 is the one you got to beat.
All right. Gulfstream race 5. The Sunshine Filly and Mare on the turf. If I remember, this is a good one. It was their races over at Gulfstream, Scotty. Oh, I have a stat on this. Oh, no.
What's up, Matt Miller?
Matt. So the post position, Scotty, I've been trying to always look at those stats and understand them. Now covering fairgrounds, I can kind of do it at bluegrass stands, like it ingrains in your brain, and I agree. You just start to memorize it. But on the rail going 8 furlongs at Gulfstream, Scotty, in the 1, 2, 3 post on the lead is 1 for the last 50.
Wow.
But the one is not. It's coming from behind. But on the lead in the 1, 2, 3 post at Gulfstream going 8 is 1 for 50. So I cut the 3 just by doing that. I think that horse is going to be up probably near the lead. But I thought this was a good state bred. Oldie and I went different ways here.
Okay.
I ended up landing on the 1, Love, Mammy, Love. I'm hoping we get anywhere around 3, 4 to 1. Great Venezuela is obviously a player, but it's Safi, it's Tyler. I thought this, Safi, I think has a few in here, but one back to back here in a 56 and a 60, and she's been a different horse, Scotty. And
yeah.
You talked a lot about like not liking the past. So like here you go, talk about. She has won 4 of 7 races, and it's a competitive race. I would tell you, I think she can improve here. I think might have some speed in front. That's where I landed.
So Oldie's on the 7 horse.
7 and 8. He likes the 7 and the 8. Oh, I see. Yeah, he put the 7 on top.
I wonder why he likes the 7. What is it about the 7?
I mean, 1 4 in a row. I thought the same thing. I mean, 1 4 in a row. It's a competitive state bred on the turf here. I mean, but comes off all those synthetic efforts at Woodbine, we're going to have to improve. But you could say that about my 1 horse too. If you get around the 8, which I think you can, Scotty, he must just be looking here that this one's right there at the top of the stretch.
Yeah.
Going to be able to, I guess, sit a good trip.
Yeah. I mean, Oldie has a good eye for this stuff. I don't like the 7, but I also think I would love the 1 horse if I thought it was more rateable. It would be my type of horse. I love the inside draw. but the horse almost can't take advantage of that. The inside draw and you have speed only works if you're going to be, within a couple of lengths of the other horses. Otherwise, it doesn't help you. It's the rail 38 feet out, right?
Look who rode last out though. Tyler rode the one, Scotty, and the horse broke great and sat right there. But then I don't know what happened there. Like, I'm not sure what happened, and he shuffled back to 8th. But because that was when I saw that, I was like, wow, I wonder what happened. It'd be a good time to watch video and watch the race, right? Yeah. But Tyler rode first time and really improved there. So that's my hope. But
the 8 horse Great Valenzuela, from this starting position, it's not exactly great. Now, look, it looks like this horse has plenty of speed though to get over. But when you look at the starting position, look at the track diagram. I mean, this horse is going to be out here next to the P in PM, right? And I mean, just saying, like, and she's going to have to get used up early. But I mean, if you look, you can see it does look like she's going to be able to do it, but not by a lot. Like, I imagine.
I mean, she's been sprinting on the Tapeta, the 8.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously and being on the lead. I mean, she's fast as hell. But look, now she's got to carry that speed. She's got to be asked a little bit early. She's wide, and can she carry that going 8 furlongs? The GSR drops. I mean, she can. I mean, she's one of the ones. I don't know. Is she vulnerable? Like, might
Johnny B riding the 3 and Safi got the 4 beach ready with DVDs. So it wouldn't surprise me to see some additional speed. I think the 8's definitely the speed of the race, probably get the lead. But I had questions against the 8 that it might be too hard, I think is what you're saying, Sky, which is why I landed on the 1. I didn't necessarily love the 3 or 4. I think Oli commented, Oli has a similar angle. He's just going on the 7 versus I'm going on the 1, I feel like. So he probably isn't really a fan. I think he had the 8 second. So, I mean, and I wouldn't disagree there. I had the 8 second, and then I actually put the long shot 3rd, Scotty. But I thought Great Venezuela might have a tough trip out there.
Well, she's gonna get the lead, but it's just a matter of how hard she's gonna have to get used to get the lead. And you're asking a lot. You're going from 5 furlongs in the synthetic to 8 furlongs on the turf. I mean, it's asking a lot. It's not my type of play. I mean, that's for sure. Win or lose, I'm not taking a horse that's cutting back or going, 3 furlongs more in a situation like this. Maybe
the GSR is a question mark too, Scotty. I mean, if we, getting down to the EE Agos, but I'm not sure the 8 even wants to go 2 turns on the turf. So being that fast, setting quick fractions, if she has to work, it's setting up for somebody, in my opinion. And so to me, it was the 1 horse. And then again, I thought the 5 is a great price as a bomber as the long shot. That was my 3rd pick.
Let's see here. I don't really like the EquinEdge long shot that much. So, I mean, you're looking at.
You're liking my 1. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, probably have to go that way. Like, of all the horses, there's only. So the EquinEdge long shot is looking for horses 6-1 and above in the morning line. That's what it's looking for. So there's only 2 horses it can't choose. That's the 1 and the 8. And it, the 1 and the 8 are the top 2 EquinEdge picks. So that's very interesting. It's the top GSR as well. So I got a note down here. I just deleted it. It said, "Don't trust this horse."
I thought that the 5 might have a shot. I mean, 1 of 52 SOR, and Louis Rye, Carlos David, 3rd off the trainer chains, gets rid of Saez, and has 1 kind of stocking off the lead and 1 easy 2 back. The last out effort was on the synthetic. If you toss all the synthetic Tapeta races for the 5, Scotty, it's a different horse. I mean, to be honest, the horse is
that's really observant, honestly. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's not even. That's why I thought the 5 had such a massive shot, because if you look at all the turf races, I mean, there's nothing wrong here versus this group. If you can get around the 8 and then you're like, where am I going to go? This horse is a completely live long shot. And if you get in it, I mean, 10 to 1, 15 to 1 is going to be amazing. It must use in verticals, 100%.
Yeah.
I'd use in horizontals too. So,
you know, I bet this horse Mary Quite Contrary numerous times. And
yeah, I have too.
And this horse has done nothing but break my heart.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And the GSR is not great, but why do I always come back to this horse? Like this horse, look at the class. This horse, is it the class of the field? The 3 is, then the 2. I mean, barely. Have you given up on the 3? I mean, do you think do you think she needed that last race? Johnny Velasquez jumps aboard, and because this is more of an allowance field. That's what this is.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to look at the 3. I guess I ultimately by looking all that past form, but I mean, Brian Lynch gets this horse from California out of Peter Urton, but I just thought she probably needed to lead, and she's not gonna. But maybe she gets it because Oldie think the 8 doesn't need the lead and might sit off in the. But then I even worry about the distance, which I know Oldie does too. But I mean, I guess if the 8 lets Princess Bettina go with Johnny V. But I mean, he's gonna have to set easy fractions, in my opinion. I'm not sure I see that.
I don't know. I mean, look at the workout. This horse has been training really good.
Yeah. But it's been on turf recently.
And that was a long layoff, Justin. That was a long layoff. She also is a type. Maybe they gave her the race. She's also a horse that needs to be near the lead. The win percentage goes up. The GSR goes up. Look at this. So the horse all the way to the second call was only 4 lengths back off this layoff. They let off. Look at that. And now they get Johnny V, who's one of the best turf riders in the country. Brian Lynch, one of the top trainers on turf. The SOR goes down from 68 to 64, 9% to 14%. So that goes up. And the GSR goes up 7 points in a race that, and by the way, this horse has some speed. I mean, and here's the thing. The 8's got to come from the outside. I think my biggest concern is 8's going to get that lead. And is the 3 going to
only think the 8 might not. You should tell Johnny, you should call Johnny up and say, you need to send the 3 and let the 8 try to sit off you because we don't think it can go on the turf 8 and you might wire the field.
Well, first of all, okay, I can like right now I got a gentleman's bet. There's not a chance in the world that the 8 does not get the lead. You're talking about a 5 furlong sprinter that's going 8
I'm with you
on the turf. I mean, this horse is getting the lead, like hands down. Oldie, I think I won the last bet. I think Oldie owes me $1. All right, so I'm gonna take a flyer on the 3 horse. I
like the way you just broke down the 3. I think the 3 might have a shot if Oldie choosing 8 don't get the lead. That's not a good idea in my opinion. But
look, if I though had to bet my life on a horse in this race, I would actually probably bet it on your horse. Yeah, I probably would. You're seeing stuff so good right now, man. Keep it up. It's so great. It's really neat. Like, can't wait to see your notes for tomorrow. And by the way, I'm getting the new GSR tonight, from what I'm being told. Now, it's not been tested, so Dan, yes, we replaced the Scotty Longshot with the old algorithm because it's 3.5 points better. So and you can see it. Like, it's been up for what, 2 weeks, Justin, and it's crushing.
Yes. No, it's back to the old ways. And Matt Miller, I appreciate your comments. Scotty, we talked about this though. I love when other people win. Like you, I love when everybody in the chat win and people use that analysis and Anthony or Mike or Matt. And I'll tell you though, Scotty, it was Bluegrass Dan. I appreciate it a lot because I'll watch some work video and I trust him. And I sent that to him, and he gave in the 5 horse today at Fairgrounds for Cam McPeak, nearly won. But it's a great community, Matt. So I just say, but I appreciate the comments.
All right, so 7 for Oldie, and you're on the 1 horse. I'm on the 3. None of us are on the 8 horse. Great Venezuela. Well, he said 7 and 8, but that's cheating. Like, pick a horse, take a seat. All right. Man, always trying to get an edge. Like, who does 2 horses? Okay.
Well, this race, this is so. We'll watch the race then. I was like, okay, love it. Gulfstream. Oh, state bred on the dirt. Oh, 8.5. Oh, 12 horses. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I look and I'm like, why are some of these horses never run 8.5 furlongs? What's happening here? So we're going to dig in.
Okay. Well, this might be a situation that's a David Harrison play. And I remember we were doing the road to the NHC about, I don't know, 2 months ago. And he chose a horse going. It was a 9 furlong race, and he chose a horse. It was on the turf. He chose a horse that had the lowest GSR, and you know, on the turf, the GSR, the turf 2 turns, the GSR is money.
Yes.
And he
with the long
chose a horse that was terrible on the turf. It had 2 turf starts, was terrible. They were shorter distances, but the horse had run like 2 times going 9 furlongs. And showed it didn't lose by much. And he chose the horse. It was 30-1. And I started laughing. I couldn't help it. I'm like, you're what? This is the lowest GSR. No chance. I told him. No chance. And the freaking 32-1, the horse comes over and wins the race. Like, so basically what David's doing is saying, yes, the GSR is good and all that, but when you're dealing with some of the longer races, just a lot of the horses, especially North American horses, don't want to go that long. Yeah. And so you need to just consider that if you can find a horse that just wants to run all day long and you get a longer distance, then, you know, not that 8.5 is super, super long, like 9.5, 10, something like that. But you get the idea.
You're talking about my pick in the race.
Okay, who's that?
The 4.
Okay.
I did end up going with the likely favorite here. Castellano ride for Barbosa, but you know, it's a tough race. I know Oldie went elsewhere, but you know, he bred all day to go long, Scotty, and he's gone long back at Keeneland, you know, and so Barbosa shipped over, or Rudy Rod actually had, but ran in Lexington over at Keeneland in a grade 3, ran a respectable 4th in a 9-horse field, was on the rail, but you know, it's one back-to-back at Gulfstream, a 62 and a 70, once in state bred and then once in open company. So I always like to see that, Scotty. I mean, not only is beat state bred, but then went into open company and won a 70 SOR, stocking the pace. And so hoping similar trip today. I think post is just fine. You know, gets back to 2 turns, 3rd in the form cycle. Again, I think 4 is bred to go 2 turns. I thought would be tough here. But it's a big group. It's a big race. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Did you consider the 2-horse who is bred to run all day long, but has been facing better horses in the last 3 races and should like the distance, should save ground from the inside? That 2-hole is a great place to be. The horse is tactical early. Did you consider maybe?
Yeah, no, this was I looked at the 2. My main comment of how I got off the 2, Scotty, was just that it hasn't won at 8.5 and it's done it twice. And so that's actually, but it's how I looked at this whole race, because many of them, Scotty, have not even gone 2 turns, right? Yeah. So, you know, but I thought the 2 could be a player, but underneath for me, you know,
What about Justin, the only horse to win at 8.5 furlongs on the dirt, and that is Lure Him In, the 3-horse?
You know, Edwin rode in this horse. I just thought it is dropping a little bit, but you know, I guess if it can get back to that form. But I mean, this is an 8-year-old gelding, Scotty, and so. I mean, maybe this is the way the horse goes out as a winner.
Look, I'm a 59-year-old gelding, so what is your point?
Man, I'm 44. But I just thought maybe past the prime, where you get somebody like Secret Chap that's lightly raced, is a 4-year-old, not a 3-year-old. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, like you said, one at the distance. I mean, There would be the win percents, right? Show the race fairly wide open. There's Shaq Diesel. I think Shaq Diesel who Oldie put on. No, Oldie didn't put the. Oldie put the. Oldie went with the speed here. Scotty the 6, one sharp cookie. He thought, okay, Oldie, you think the 6 might go gate to wire?
Oh, that let's take a look at that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see the SOR. SOR's solid. The GSR goes up from 50 to 60. Didn't run last time out, 64, excuse me. That was on the turf. Didn't want any part of that turf experiment. Has run good when it gets on the lead. 2 back, it was in a grade 2 race sprinting. That didn't work good. Okay, these are tough. I don't know why the E Morning Line hates this horse. That's interesting. 45 to 1.
I know, I saw that. I was like, Oldie probably like, can I get any part of that?
Yeah. Look, I mean, this is not the strongest field in the world. The horse is going to be, going to most likely be on the lead. Let's see who's going to be maybe with this horse on the lead. A 12 is going to go. And the horse has some class. It's very interesting. Again,
I think Caramillo send on the 1 though. I think Amicio I think there's more. Sorry, Scott, I mean to stop. I think there's more speed. My comment to Oldie would be, I think it will, get to watch this race on Saturday, but I think there's a little more speed here for the 6 horse, and especially Amicio Jaramillo on the 1, I think will show speed. So that was my perspective just against the 6.
Yeah. So I got to go with, I'm going to go with Cosiris. And I mean, this horse has been facing better horses. It's run long distances. It likes to win 5 wins in 16 races. It's second off the layoff. I'm going to go with the 2.
What about, before we go to the next race, the horse that I thought I didn't like the posts, which is probably why I wouldn't have put it on. I didn't put it on top. But what do you think about the 11, Scotty? Johnny V rides for Safi.
I mean, again, we're talking about 8.5 furlongs, and I think that you do yourself a favor and try to find horses that have actually proven that they like this distance. That's really what I would do. Here's what I see. It looks like the horse is bred for it, but when you've run 10 races and you've never run this far, the trainer is like, okay, well, it wasn't that important to the trainer. He didn't think that you needed to go 8.5 furlongs. So you're taking a risk. I want to take somebody that has good current form that we know likes the distance. Right. And,
but don't you think the 11 might be able to, from that post, find a spot for Johnny V versus a group like this and hit the board though? I
think this horse is going to end up wide and get a terrible trip, is what I think, because the 12 is fast, the 10's somewhat fast, the 7's faster, the 6 is faster, the 4 is about the same, the 1 and 2 are faster. So I don't think that the 11 is going to get that great of a trip. But I mean, the connections they're good. Certainly, you can't say this horse can't win, but it's not my favorite.
All right. Well, I do like the 11, just for everybody listening. But underneath, I like the 4 on top. But I thought the 11 holiday pay, because price is going to be good too.
I want to find a horse that I know is gonna really want the distance. I would really look at the GSR carefully in here. But here's the thing: look at from top to bottom is only 9 points. You don't see that very often.
I know. But,
you know what I mean?
But many of them have been running 1 turn. It was crazy. But I think I'm not sure they run a lot of obviously 8 furlong 1 turn mile races at Scotty, but they don't seem to run a ton of these, 8.5 longer races on the dirt at Gulfstream.
Yeah.
It seems. But
so I mean, so this is a hard read. I'm going to take a chance on the 2 horse, but I don't think there is a bad play. I don't really love the 12 in that wide post, to be honest with you. You really are on probably the best horse on paper, and that's the 4. You really are.
Yeah, I think as long as it gets a good trip, should be just fine. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think can continually improve, especially versus this group, right? It has great post, unlike the 11 and 12.
Yeah. All right. Where to now?
Turfway Park.
Turfway
Race
Park.
6.
Oh, that's fun.
Hey, we didn't have Santa Anita, so we get Turfway in Tampa.
Gary, I like the 3, Gary, to hit the board. I actually almost made that my top pick. Okay, Turfway Park. God, this has got to be in my 41 years of playing horse racing. I have never seen a track more brutal than Turfway.
It is so hard.
It's so brutal.
Jake, though, for everybody listening, the notes that EE analysis for Turfway from Jake can be great. So he actually, I mean, he's how do you find a 1% horse? He'd find 1% horses.
He does.
I've seen him do it a few times at the meet. It's like,
he does. Like, look at though, Earhart is got a massive pace advantage, and that is that's going to be really tough to overcome for any horse, honestly. So it wins the race as well. Let's take a look at this horse closer. The SOR, the SOR is fine, but there is some class above it. You got to consider that. But let's take a look at this horse. So it's only had 2 lifetime races going 7 furlongs. Now it's got to go 2 turns for the first time, right? Because I think 7 furlongs at Woodbine's like around the chute. So I think this is two turns. Well, it is 2 turns. It's just it's a different race, but the 2 horse is definitely a player. The 10 horse could get carried wide around the first turn. Let's see here. So there's the first call right there. So the 8 and 9 are faster than the 10. So the 10 is going to have to, go back here. Yeah. I just see the track name Turfway Park, and I get chills.
All right. Well, I do think the 2 could be a little bit dangerous, like the race sim show and you talked about, but this will probably make a little more sense. So we were prepping right before we got on the show as we were getting everything ready, and I was still looking at this race, and I said to you, I'm like, when they have synthetic track at Del Mar, and well, I guess the first thing I asked was, what Street Boss race on the dirt or the synthetic? But then I just went and looked it up, and it was the synthetic, the 5 horse Scotty. So the Scotty long shot is where I landed on.
So Hollywood Park had synthetic as well. Del Mar had synthetic. That was back in 2008.
So keep going.
Well, look, Street Boss only ran on synthetic, right? Santa Anita was synthetic. It was crazy. All those tracks, Oak Tree at Santa Anita, everything was and it was crazy. But so you like the 5?
Yeah, I put the 5 on top. Just, I thought came off those recent efforts on the synthetic and the turf, and predominantly has raced majority of the time on the turf. And I thought this was just like a sneaky spot was the long shot. And part of it, learning about Street Boss, me, I'm a little bit newer to the game over the last 10 years. So, but I was looking at the GSR, Scotty, his second GSR, and has a good SOR. But I'm not, getting back again to Turfway Park. It's kind of like, but I thought it was a great play on the 5, in a stakes race like this, gets back over to a synthetic track at Brennan Walsh, a great trainer, second off the layoff. The biscuit rides, I think as Jake calls him. So that's where I landed on top. So.
All right. Oldie didn't do this race.
No, he skipped the Turfway.
Pussy.
Yeah, right. I know. For everybody, I track all these plays, and you know this, my ROI. I'm like, it's okay. We're gonna go for a long shot at Turfway. Yeah, Rodney liked the 11. Rodney, good to see you. I don't disagree with you, Rodney. That was my third pick. So
So the what? Stay Lost.
Everland.
Oh, the 11.
Yeah, it's mainly if somebody come late, the 11 could be. I put more underneath, but
Well, I'm not going to give a play here. I'm looking, and but I don't want to force something. I don't. I'm looking at this thing, and I would need more time. I will say that the 2 horses probably going to be very tough to catch.
yeah. No,
You know?
I think it's a good angle there too.
Yeah.
All right, Bluegrass. Yeah, that's true. I more meant I just sometimes when I see stuff like that, I never knew that there was a synthetic track at Del Mar, and I was like, "Whoa, Street Boss raced on the
Yeah.
synthetic," and then I saw Del Mar. It just blew my mind. I think we're going to Tampa.
Tampa. All right. So now we're gonna finish off at Tampa. All right.
Yep.
So we have 3 stakes races at Tampa. All right. So let's run this. So we're winging this one.
Yeah, you and me both.
All right.
So speed, cockeyed, and rookie card. Owen Almighty gonna be a big favorite.
You get rid of the 1. So let's look at Owen Almighty, who's 60%, 4 to 5 EE morning line, top GSR, seems to have some tactical speed. It's been off since September for Brian Lynch. Irad Ortiz, who was aboard for the 2nd place finish last time in the Iroquois. That's a grade 3 race. Today is just a non-graded stakes race. Their SORs are similar. Let's see if we can get a beat on the workouts. That's a nice gate drill right here. Do you like to see gate drills before the race? Like for me, it makes me nervous. Like, why do you do a gate drill? Maybe Dan, I would really respect Bluegrass Dan's opinion on this, but why do a gate drill? And it's a fast gate drill. Why do a gate drill before your race? Like, why do that? Like, I don't actually see any other gate drills up here besides that one.
Yeah, it's because it tells you, and I'm with you. I'd be curious, Dan, your thoughts. Of owning horses, Scotty, I just always think, and this is a 3-year-old colt, right? Just coming out of a 2-year-old, I like to see my horses be ready prior to the race. And so why are we working out of the gate, like right before the race? I think, wouldn't we have kind of figured out the gate stuff before? But that'd be my only perspective. Maybe there's an angle there.
Brian's 19% with off the layoff. And let's see. Look at the jockey trainer combination, though. It's only 8%. I think that's something we have to consider. But 60% to win, I don't know. Jockey trainer combination, 8%. Is there another horse we should be looking at, like maybe Naughty Rascal, who certainly has credentials?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm off the 3. Just broke its maiden, so I probably eliminate the 3.
Yeah.
So then the 3 might show speed. So then rookie card just off the maiden as well for Gargan.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan. I'm not in love with this horse in this race. It was 51% to do that. Look, it had the 7 post, a perfect trip, 2 back, and it had the lead and lost late. So I think you're probably looking at the
GSR drops too. So then it really seems like a 2-horse race between the 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's what it looks like as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've never seen that on the race sim. I narrowed it, and it. I only have 2 horses, and it just showed up a little bit different. But
all right, let's go to race number 5 now, and Dan says it's based on the horse, so it's hard to know.
Where do you gonna put the 6 or 5 on top?
For me, I'm gonna put the 6 on top.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I was just finished looking at it. Sorry, it definitely looks like that might be Irad factor. Okay.
There was a horse today. I can't remember what track it was. The horse was 68% to win, I believe, and it fell to its knees at the start and still won the race by like 3 or 4 lengths.
How about was that last week? Remember the?
No, that was today. No, that was today.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know if anybody can remember it, but I was watching that today and I was like, well, that horse is toast, and I couldn't believe it. Like it won that race. Let's see here. All right, let's run this race. 2 more races.
Yeah, that's rare when that happens. So
go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, like when I look at this, the 3 never gets the lead and backs up, Scotty, and then the 4 is backing up off the pace, but it is the long shot, so maybe we have to. But I immediately would cut the 3 because I think it needs the lead. It just broke its maiden. It is a good GSR, but it's only 3%. And again, I think the 4 is faster. So I cut the 3. I probably cut the 1. It's just too far back.
This horse, the 1 horse though, with a good break, maybe this horse can surprise. Why is the 1 horse 9 to 1 on the E morning line? But by the way, there was a horse at Gulfstream today that was 20 to 1 the odds makers morning line. There was only 1 scratch. It was 9 to 1 in the EE morning line. Went off at 5 to 1 and won nicely. The 6 horse, like the 6th or 7th race. And this is like. Right here, you can 9 to 1 in the EE morning line. Like that has to wake you up at least to take a second and third look at this horse. When I see this horse, it didn't run terrible last time out, only being 3.5 lengths back, going from a 50 where it barely won to a 70. I mean, clearly the horse has some talent.
It can't break. It's so slow though.
Look at the GSR. Look at the GSR on dirt.
There's so much mixed feelings because it's an inside post. It can't break, but it now goes to the dirt.
But
jockey trainer 31% too. This Martinez kid, Willie Martinez riding.
Yeah, I mean, just one to consider. I think the first thing you have to do is when you see a horse 35%, really look at it carefully and go, okay, is this horse really all that? It's one, race, 2 races back to back for Brian Lynch. I mean, Brian's got some live horses, it looks like, on this card. But the horse seems to be in very good form. I mean, it's definitely one of the ones. It's going to get a good trip, it looks like. Well, I don't know, will it? It could. Here's where a horse like this could lose. And it's important to look at this stuff, but with the race simulator, this horse could be in between the 5 and the 6 or 5 and the 7. It could happen, right? And then if that happens, this horse is not so much better than the rest of this field that it can afford to be in between horses, check back or anything like that. So just because of this first call, I'd probably look at that. Even the second call, look at that. I might play against the 6. And if you
Irad is riding. Hopefully he doesn't put that horse in a bad spot, but you never know.
It was interesting from the inside to save ground would be maybe this 2 horse at a price.
But I don't really love the 6. Mainly Scotty with the GSR is why I'm a little worried about going 7 furlongs.
Yeah, I think the 5, 6, and 7 might kind of like hurt each other. This one is super interesting. It really is. But look, I'm not afraid of this 9 to 2 EE morning line because you've got horses like the 6 horse and 7 in there, right? So, but I think that look at if the 6 and 7 duel with the 5 and they back up, then look who the horse that wins is. I'm going to go with the 2. You know, I love these I love in inside posts a lot of times, depending on the surface and distance, obviously, and the style. But in this race, I really like this inside post and saving ground. Look, look at the fields that it's been facing, and then look the two horse, yeah, like it's been facing that 76 group, and it got fourth, breaking ninth, step slow, 4 to 7 path, and then here the last race it says closed for show was widest, whatever widest means. It was widest. It's a great note, but this horse might run. Yeah, why not? Who are you going to go with?
This is a brutal race, man.
I kind of like this one horse a little bit. This one might run.
Well, that's First, I was like dismissing the one, and I'm like, man, it's gonna be a good price, and I think that horse, has a shot maybe to hit the board. I don't really like the speed, the 3 or the 4, Scotty, but maybe that would be another angle is the 4, but Centino Road. I'm almost landing on your 2. I mean, the 7.
The 4 needs the lead. 7? The 4 needs the lead, and you're going to see like the 5, 6, and 7 to go flying as well. I guess. I mean, the 4 is the EquinEdge long shot. I mean, it's possible.
7? What about the 7? I mean, the 7 won 7 furlongs, 2 back easily.
This horse can be wide, but yeah, I mean, it can definitely win. But the 6 can the 6 really afford to just let the 7 go? Maybe. I mean, if the 6 doesn't go, then he just gives the race to the 7. I don't think he can afford to do that, but I don't know. Like, we'll see. It's going to come down. You'll know, like, in the first quarter mile who's going to win this race, probably.
Yeah, I'm going with the 7.
All right.
7. I don't love that race, though. That's
Oldie. Sure. I think Oldie said the 6 horse. All right, we got one more race. Let's do it.
Okay. Did you go at the 2?
I went 2-1.
Yeah, that is a good betting race. That's for sure.
It is. I've become more of a trip handicapper, Justin, as you know. I really feel like
it's an important, whether it's post or trip or whatever.
Trip,
it's an important
the
aspect.
Speed, you know what I mean? Like, look at the horse's style in the race, and I just feel like trip handicapping is a good way to go. You have to look at the metrics, and you have to look at the pace of the race and all that. But I think it's super important to look at the trip that a horse might get, and especially favorites. Like, so you got the one horse. Let's use this as an example. At the first call, let's see the one horse's style. So it looks like the one can rate a little bit. It looks like it can rate, but not that much. It barely beat a 62 group, and this is a 68 group. If we look at the class of the field, I mean, the one's towards the bottom. It still has a 74% chance of losing. You know, I mean, so if you look at the class, Kathleen O'Connell has got this horse going 8.5 furlongs, stretching out. Let's see here. How about the 8 horse here? This horse in 9 tries going 8.5 furlongs earned $110,000. Does it need the lead? It looks like the 8 needs the lead, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it just gives it up in the races where it hasn't gotten the lead, and it struggles on the lead.
Pressed. Yeah.
See, I don't like that, especially when it's been racing at 8.5.
Yeah.
I mean, she's 0 for 9 at 8.5, Scotty. My goodness.
This 2 horse, don't be surprised if the jockey sends this horse 7 furlongs, stretching out. I'm not going to be surprised. Kathleen O'Connell's been in fuego. So
you need to send her that race sim, and
she does. I
send the horse.
she does not listen. I love her. She's hardworking. She knows her shit. And I called her the other day on a horse of hers, and I said, I'm telling you, you've got the outside post. You added Tyler Gaffalione to your horse. And I said, and you're facing a horse in here that's fast, but I think you're faster. I know you have the outside post. I don't think your horse wants to rate. She goes, I don't know, she was very nice, but she was not interested in my opinion. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, I think the horse finished second last, but the horse does not want to rate. But again, you know, you're talking about old school trainers and stuff, and but there are a lot of trainers that use EquinEdge and the race simulator and the pace to try to figure out where they should place their horses.
I mean,
it was, Dan. That's what it was. She was very nice, but she's like, like, I'm the trainer. You're telling me how I should ride my horse. I get it. I get it.
Oh, man.
All right. So
I'm trying to. So I'm kind of off the. I think I'm off the 8. I can't get down with little Jamie out there. Might need the lead. I'm kind of looking around the 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you know, the 1 or 2. 1 wins is the favorite, I guess. Okay, so Irad's just trying to win all 3 stakes races. He's on all 3 of the favorites.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
she's
Irad gets off of the 5 horse, and you're not taking Irad off and putting Sammy Camacho, although I respect Sammy, but that's clearly Irad's decision. Also gets off the 7 horse, and that's clearly his decision as well. So, I mean, 1 horse looks very good. Remember we talked about being on the rail? Like, okay, I don't mind the rail, but you need to be tactical, and he can sit right off the 2 and the 8, and probably sit in 3rd position, and pounce on them. So I think and then here's the thing: if the 2 doesn't go, and I wouldn't be surprised if Batista doesn't send. So if the 2 doesn't go, then the 1 might actually be on the lead, but the 1 doesn't need it. I don't know. This is a very hard race.
I mean, I narrowed it to 1, 2, 3, 4 for me, Scotty. And I think the 1 got a big shot. So I looked at the picks, the 4. And mainly how I narrowed it, I just kind of cut some horses that probably not, you know, don't really fit. They don't fit in the pace. They're too far out, you know, and just kind of, I don't know. So it got, you know, the 1 looks tough, but then the 4 American Retro, I mean, I don't think
that's the one Mike was just mentioning.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
he's been running on the turf. I mean, we you know, it's earned the most amount of money. It's earned $127,000 on the dirt. So there's no reason, you know, I've just always found that you run your horse 3 times on the turf, 4 times on the turf, and all of a sudden you throw the horse on dirt. I don't know. They never seem to really do very well. I don't know if they're confused or what. I don't know. I don't know. The horse is bred for it. It can do it. And this horse has done pretty good. It's certainly one of the ones. I just have a feeling Irad's going to find a way to win this race. I just do. So I'm going to go with the 1. It's also 7-5 on the EE morning line. Top EquinEdge pick. It's got one of the top pace numbers. Is the SOR too low though? I mean, maybe we should be looking at a class horse. Maybe, you know, not the. I don't like the 8 horse. I think the 8 needs the lead, and the 2's fast. Unless the 8 clears, I guess that's a possibility. But the horse had the lead last time out against Easier and stopped.
I'm narrowed. It's the 1 or the 4 for me. I think I'd probably go Irad on the 1. But I do like Mike. I didn't even see you mention that, but and it's the second pick was kind of how I landed there. But that American Retro going to be a good price underneath, you know. So, but I'd probably put the 1 on top.
The only horse to win at 8.5 on the dirt has a second place finish here too. Does run good, but it seems to be lacking in class, at least currently, is the 6 horse. So been in the money in 19 of 22 races and is only 3% to win. That's an interesting long shot. 7-1 in the E morning line, and it's a price play. 1-6 for me.
All right, brother. That was fun.
All right. Good stuff. Yeah. Road to the NHC with David Harrison tomorrow, guys. And Chris's coaching class tomorrow night. And then, yeah. What do you got going, Justin? Just going to do the notes for Fairgrounds?
Heck yeah. We eat that up, man. We had 10 races today. Only 8 tomorrow, I think. So that's good. A couple less races. Hopefully they're on the turf. They were on the turf today. So, the weather, I think, has been a little bit better in the south.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get studying over at Gulfstream Park, get myself a cup of coffee. And so, Mike, feel better. Thanks, you guys. Dan, Gary, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining Oldie on. And Bill, thank you guys. Appreciate you chiming in. And if I miss anybody else, I'm sorry. But, Chris is up there. I didn't see that Chris was there. Rodney, appreciate you guys. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern time for the road to the NHC.
Thanks, Al.
All right, let's go. And bam.